If you're eating 10 times a day but never feel satisfied, your hunger hormones are miscommunicating. Your dragons are sending mixed signals, and miscommunication can be fixed. This special Thursday Toolkit episode will show you how to get your brain and hormones working together instead of against each other. How I went from constantly a raging appetite to food freedom sounds impossible. 5 weeks ago it was, and I'm still pinching myself. But here's the thing, I was never hungrier than when I was eating 10 times a day. Now I take regular breaks from eating and rarely feel hungry. My video on hunger dragons explained why we stay hungry all the time. That was part 1. Today's part 2 shows you the practical tools I used to retrain these systems and why calming the appetite hormones also stabilizes blood sugar. It's going to run a little longer than my normal Thursday content, but this is a deep dive into a comprehensive approach that I hope you agree justifies a few extra minutes. I know taming our appetites naturally seems impossible. The pharmaceutical industry may be counting on that. Ozempic and similar drugs are predicted to grow 20% annually over the next few years. And those artificial suppressants work, but my body preferred a different approach. Here's what I focused on daily. In 2024, it took 6 weeks to retrain my hunger signals. This year, I achieved that in 2 weeks. Every body responds differently, but I was determined to say goodbye to constant hunger regardless of how long it took. Think of your appetite system like a well-loved pet. If our furry companions are constantly fed treats throughout the day, they become demanding and never satisfied. But establish clear meal times and they wait patiently because they trust food will come. I stopped snacking entirely and returned to eating only at meal times. It was hard for the first few days, but became easier the longer I kept at it because, as we learned earlier, I wasn't constantly feeding myself but allowing some rest period between new food. And I kept my meals simple, using the fewest ingredients possible. I also increased what keeps bodies naturally satiated longer, healthy fats and protein, while reducing carbohydrates. My current ratio for weight loss runs 10 to 30% carbs, 40 to 50% protein, and 30 to 40% from healthy fats. Master the morning window. The first few hours after a good sleep are naturally hunger-free, thanks to your body's dawn effect. When your body is preparing to wake up, your liver releases glucose like a gentle alarm clock, giving your body natural energy without needing food. I learned to surf this natural energy wave, gradually extending the time before my first meal until now I eat first around noon or 1 p.m. Any morning hunger I felt early on turned out to be, under closer inspection, learned behavior from decades of breakfast is the most important meal messaging. But my body taught me that mornings are for action, not eating. I could not have eliminated constant hunger without first fixing my sleep. During the first week of my restart, I committed to turning off technology 90 minutes before bed, making my room as dark as possible, and tracking whether I got 7+ hours nightly. When exhausted, my resolve to avoid snacking crumbles. Quality sleep for me became the foundation everything else built on. When food thoughts arise outside of eating windows, distraction becomes your superpower. I threw myself into creative projects that engaged my heart and spirit. I launched this YouTube channel, and that gave me something more interesting to think about than food. So find activities that tap into your well-being and make them irresistible alternatives to visiting the home or office kitchens. Now that our hunger dragon hormones are well on their way to rehabilitation, let's look at how blood sugar affects the appetite. As you can see, your hunger dragons aren't working in isolation. They're the control center for your entire metabolic energy system, managing power flow throughout your body's districts. But next in line from the hunger hormones is your blood sugar. Think of blood sugar like a city's energy grid. When the grid in the city and your body spike and crash repeatedly, both will start to malfunction. In your body, you'll feel weak and tired more often. Stable energy, stable body energy leads to stable hunger signals. Here's the things I learned to do to keep my blood sugar charged and energized. The single change that eliminated my hunger pangs and joint pain within days was replacing seed oils with healthy fats. My body responded so dramatically that this became non-negotiable. Although seed oils are impossible for me to completely eliminate because now and then I treat myself out to eat or a special treat, but 90% of the fat I consume is from healthy fats. I use organic, cold-pressed olive oil for the most cooking, avocado oil for high heat, and occasional MCT oil or butter. Individual responses will vary, and I was also implementing other changes simultaneously, but this natural swap made the biggest difference, immediate difference in my pain levels, my joints. I never even missed the seed oils. I just replaced them. Win-win. I also eliminated about 90% of refined sugar, allowing myself one high-quality treat per week. Rather than extreme low-carb, which is under 20 grams daily, I follow a lower carb approach of 35 grams or less a day. And this is sustainable to me and still allows my body to burn fat. I give my body daily breaks from processing new food by eating within a 6-hour window, typically noon to 6 p.m. And this isn't about restriction. It's about returning to natural eating patterns from before the constant snacking became normal. I grew up in the 60s and mid-70s. My family never snacked, and desserts were special occasions. Was anyone else here lucky enough to experience that in their lives? So I am returning to that. And during the 18 hours I'm not eating, my body burns stored glucose for energy, naturally lowering my blood sugar. And this approach helped me reverse my pre-diabetic status. I taught my tongue to prefer bitter and savory flavors over sweet cravings. When desires for off-plan food arise, I reach for sugar-free, pickle juice, or fermented foods. The brine and vinegar satisfy taste bud cravings remarkably well. I also sip nettle tea, which stabilizes blood sugar while reducing appetite naturally. These aren't isolated hacks, butterfly friends. Hunger hormones and blood sugar tactics are interconnected strategies that address the same underlying communication breakdown. When appetite hormones function properly, blood sugar stabilizes. When blood sugar stays steady, hunger signals become trustworthy. It's like tuning an orchestra where each section supports the others. There's some dragon and blood sugar decoders in the description below to give you a quick reference guide for implementing these strategies just discussed. Start with one or two approaches that feel most doable, and then gradually add others as they become natural habits. These are not meant to do all at once, but as a plan to level up every couple of days. There's no reason to overwhelm your body. Instead, take the gentle butterfly dares approach and let each change bring you more and more joy, as well as more and more lightness of body. And remember, if you're currently taking diabetes medications, work with your doctor when making dietary changes so medications can be adjusted appropriately. Many people successfully reduce or eliminate medications through lifestyle changes, but medical supervision ensures this happens safely. There we have it, butterfly friends. Which of these strategies resonates most with your current situation? Drop a comment and share what you're ready to try first. And don't forget to grab your free decoders below. They're handy tools to have at your fingertips or post on your fridge or wherever food urges for you strike.